live. You see they're dry. You see there's no marrow in the bone. You see they're scattered all over the valley. They ain't even full skeletons. I mean, the bones are scattered all over the valley. They're just bones. But answer me a question, Ezekiel. Can these bones live? Ezekiel answers the only way he knows how to answer. Lord, you know. Critical race theory was born out of critical legal theory. Am I teaching y'all something today? There emerged two common beliefs linking all critical race theories. First, white supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's just a fact. How in the world are you going to fight against that being taught in any school? White supremacy has subordinated black people and other people of color. That's a fact. Why don't you want that to be taught in school? You let your schools teach us that Columbus discovered America. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that George Washington couldn't tell a lie. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that some slave owners were beneficent and good slave owners. There were no good slave owners. Anybody who owned people was evil. That's a lie. You let your schools teach us that Abraham Lincoln was good for Negroes. No, Abraham Lincoln was trying to save the Union. And Abe Lincoln himself said if he could save the Union and keep black people in chains, he would do it. That's a lie. Come on, somebody. You let them teach us about a white Jesus. You let them teach us that Native Americans were the aggressors. Come on, somebody. That white folk had a manifest destiny and that the Pilgrims were good to Native Americans. That's a lie. All day, every day, you let them teach us lies. All throughout my history in school, I was taught lies. But you got a problem with critical race theory because it teaches the truth that white supremacy has subordinated black people and people of color. The right to bear arms. Let me just back up a little bit and let me take you on back to the late 1960s when Ronald Reagan was the governor of California. And they were oppressing black folk, and a group of men and women known as the Black Panther Party decided that they were going to defend the rights of black folk. And the Black Panthers decided that the Second Amendment wasn't just for white folk. So they strapped themselves with guns and showed up at the Capitol in California. And when they saw them Negroes with guns, come on, somebody. That's why I say if you ever really want to get gun laws changed, just strap all these Negroes up. They'll change them laws before the week is over. When the Black Panthers, watch this, I want you to read, the California legislator passed what was called the Mulford Act. It was a gun control act that decided who could get guns, who couldn't get guns, what could be in your background, what couldn't be in your background. It was the first time in history that the National Rifle Association, the NRA, supported restrictive gun legislation, all because black folk had the nerve to get strapped. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, go get strapped. Amen, somebody. Y'all gonna say Bishop told us to get strapped. I said it. Go get strapped. It just got real quiet up in here. But y'all already know I'm a triple P. Amen. Y'all know what a triple P is, right? A pistol packing preacher. Amen, somebody.
A lot of people packing. Legitimately, though.
Yes, sir.
That's
Hey, family, what's happening, y'all? You know how we do on Fridays. If y'all want to hear the music, go to WTCCFM.org, go to TuneIn Radio, go to iHeartRadio, because Facebook will shut us down, and then y'all be complaining the Facebook stream ain't on. So, yeah, go do that. In the meantime, rep your city, rep your town, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. So all this talk has been going on about the WNBA contracts, and they've been outraged that Caitlin Clark is getting such a little bit of money. But the last 5 number 1 draft picks have been black women who got less money than her, and y'all ain't say nothing. I'm just wondering. You know, I'm just wondering. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about it today, all right? Tell a friend, tell somebody Bishop is on the air. Let me get the gram and all that stuff set up, and let's roll with it, all right? Got to get my Twitter space set up. Got to get Instagram set up. Got to get this window up a little bit because it's a little warm in here. Here we go. All right, let's get it. There we go. Let's see. All right, we got the Twitter space popping. Now we got to get the gram going. Let's get the gram popping. There we go. All right, we're kicking off with the Otis Redding. Let's go, y'all. She may be weary.
Young girls, they do get weary.
Shaggy dress. Try a little tenderness. You know she's waiting, anticipating. All right, let's get it, y'all. Come on, rep your city, rep your town. Rep. A little tenderness. Just sentimental. No. And care. Always people want to start calling me when I'm on the air. There they go. Never fails. Y'all stop calling me when I'm on the air. Okay? Cut it out. Dun, 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 dun.
So easy.
A little tenderness. Don't tease her. Let's go, y'all. All right, let's get it.
But the essence of growth is changing. The being in the road will be the end of the road if you refuse to change. Reach a little higher, reach a little higher.
Dig a little deeper.
Dig a little deeper.
Go a little further.
Go a little further. Come on, come on, come on. Reach a little higher. Come on, yeah.
Dig a little deeper.
Dig a little deeper.
Go a little further.
Go a little further. Come on, don't stop. The essence of life is growth, but the essence of growth is change. The being in the road will be the end of the road if you refuse to change. Your life will never change until you get disgusted with where you are. Whatever you don't hate is what you tolerate. You must learn from the past, plan for the future, and live for today. For it is your daily routine that determines your success or failure in life. It's the choices that you have made up until this point that will determine the rest of your life. So break the cycle that doing enough is simply good enough. You only get out what you put in, so don't settle for the
I see you, Norfolk, Virginia.
So push yourself beyond your limitations. Come on.
Come on, rep your city, rep your town.
Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper.
I see you, Baton Rouge.
Don't stop. Don't stop. Come on. Reach a little higher. Reach a little higher. Dig a little deeper. Dig a little deeper. Go a little further. Go a little further. Don't stop. Don't stop.
You said you can't hear on the Twitter space? All right.
So you gotta break the routine of trying to be.
Let me fix that.
Manipulators will always try to buy.
All right, tell me you can hear on the Twitter space now. Good morning, good morning.
Shortcuts to success. There are no elevators to the top. You gotta take it one step at a time. You gotta break the
I think we got that fixed.
To get into your head to control who you are and where you're going. You see, when you're about
Thanks for letting me know.
You're gonna always have haters. But don't let your haters push you down. Let your haters push you forward to the
90.7 WTCC. Good morning and welcome to the Black Love Experience. I'm your host, Bishop Talbert Swan II. I want to thank Deacon Ernie Johnson for bringing us up into the 9 o'clock hour. You can hear Deacon Ernie Johnson and Elder Rick Robinson every Friday morning, bringing you the best in gospel music. Good way to end your work week, listening to good old inspirational gospel music. It's Friday, TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. Welcome to everybody in the Pioneer Valley. Everybody in all our social media spaces. Welcome iHeartRadio. Welcome WTCC FM. Welcome TuneIn. Welcomes to everybody from everywhere. Do me a favor, rep your city, rep your town. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I see Philadelphia, Pennsylvania up in the building. Who else we got up in here? We got Houston, we got Baton Rouge, Louisiana, we got Springfield, Massachusetts, or is that Missouri? Harrisburg, Pennsylvania is up in this joint. Eastern Florida is up in here. Good morning to you. Greenville, South Carolina is up in here. Ow, ow. My fraternity brother is in here. Pennsauken, New Jersey is up in here. Savannah, GA is in here. St. Petersburg is in here. Houston is in here deep. Yes, in here deep. Dallas is in here. I'll be with y'all on this weekend, Dallas. If you're in the area, check me out at Friendship West Baptist Church. I'll be preaching for Dr. Freddie Haynes on Sunday. So check us out. Norfolk, Virginia is up in the building. Good morning. Chicago, Chi-Town is in the building. A lot of stuff happening in Chicago. I got some friends out there in Chi-Town who want to talk about some things that's going on out there. So, yes, Chi-Town, New York, various places. A lot of things popping off. Newark, New Jersey, up in the building. Cape Verde is in the building. Amherst, Massachusetts is in the building. The Field is here representing New York. Brooklyn's in the house representing. Good morning to everybody from everywhere who's representing on all of our platforms. Listen, today you've seen it all over the media, and black and white media figures have been highlighting it, and people have been outraged when they found out what Caitlin Clark's contract is in the WNBA. And, I'm always, seem to be a minority voice. But I've been challenging folks, both black and white, in terms of where was the outrage prior to now. It's almost like if it doesn't happen to a white person, it didn't really happen. They've been getting low contracts forever. The last 4 number 1 draft picks have been black women, and they had contracts less than Caitlin Clark's. And people are saying nobody knew who they were. Nobody was watching. Stop it. Stop with the whole narrative that nobody ever tuned in to women's basketball in the history of women's basketball until Caitlin Clark picked up a ball. Y'all just stop that foolishness. Just cut it out, because that's an absolutely asinine assessment, and it's just not true. Period. Um, um, and so I've got to ask the question. You've had all of these superstar black women getting low wage contracts, and where has the outrage been? And I want to challenge black people on that, because y'all weren't saying anything. Now all of a sudden Caitlin gets a low contract and y'all mad? Y'all mad? Y'all wasn't mad when Aaliyah Boston got a low contract. Y'all wasn't mad when Aja Wilson got a low contract. But the poor white girl from Iowa gets a low wage contract, and y'all all broken up about it. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it because I'm one of the few people that will. That'll talk about the hypocrisy of it all. And then let's deal with the hypocrisy of Nike. And I know y'all gonna say Nike gives plenty of black people contracts, yada, yada, yada. Let's talk about them specifically when it comes to black women. And let's talk about why the only 3 WNBA players with a signature Nike shoe are all white women. And the best player in the league and the most valuable player in the league is a black woman without a contract. Yeah, let's deal with it. Yep. Tell your friend Bishop is on the air right now. 413-736-2781. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
I look in the mirror and I like what I see. A strong, beautiful black woman staring back at me. One who's seen a lot of pain and had her share of sorrow, but who never gave up hope for a brighter tomorrow. I've been lied to, cheated on, stolen from and hit, but it just made me stronger and I refuse to quit. That's right. And though I've been tempted, I refuse to stoop to their level. I rose above that nonsense.
And made a liar of the devil.
The devil who said I wasn't good enough, cute enough, or worthy of love. I kicked his butt with divine power from above. Power that says I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me and brought me out of darkness so that I could see that I'm smart, I'm beautiful, I'm a child of the King. Abundant love for me he came to bring. Oh yes, when I look in the mirror, I love what I see. That strong, beautiful black woman, that woman is me.
90.7 WTCC. Good morning, good morning, good morning. That's Rhonda Swan. I like what I see. That strong, beautiful black woman. Speaking of strong, beautiful black women, let's talk about the strong, beautiful black women in the WNBA who have been getting low wage contracts for a while. And I get it. There's some dynamics that we definitely have to consider. You can't just compare the NBA to the WNBA, which is what they've been trying to do. I think it's been an illegitimate comparison, and everybody's been doing it. Black media, white media, Joyanne Reed, others have been doing it without proper context. And let's just, come on. First of all, the NBA is much over. The NBA brings in far more revenue. You, you can't legitimately think that if you run a $1 million a year business and you're the CEO, that you're supposed to have a comparable salary with the CEO who runs a $1 billion a year business. I mean, that's simple economics. It's simple economics. Um, you know, that's WNBA is a $200 million a year organization, and the NBA is a $10 billion a year organization. Who's going to get paid more? Those who play for a $200 million a year organization, or those who get paid to play for a $10 billion a year organization? I get that there is a historic disparity that exists between wages that a woman gets and wages that a man gets. And you can legitimately make that argument when they are working for the same place. You can legitimately make the argument that a woman working for the same place that a man works for, having equal qualifications and experience, that she should get paid commensurate with what men get paid. That's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer. What you can't do is say that, you know, a woman who works for a much smaller organization that has far less revenue should get paid as much as anybody, whether it's a man or a woman, from an organization that has more resources that can pay its employees more money. So it's not even a fair, equitable comparison when you want to compare the NBA to the WNBA. Now, what we can do, if you're very concerned about that, is to support the WNBA. Watch their games. I've been watching WNBA games since there was a WNBA. I remember with the inaugural seasons, we were hoping um, um, Cheryl Miller would play, but she wound up being the one of the original coaches in the league. And so this whole notion that people keep saying nobody ever watched. There's some of us who've been watching the WNBA the whole 27 years they've been around. We're basketball fans. We've watched the NCAA men and women's. I couldn't get around the women's. I'm in New England. All those titles that UConn was taking, we couldn't get around but watching the women's tournament. And so this notion that there's a narrative out there now that nobody, absolutely nobody, paid any attention to women's basketball ever until Caitlin Clark. That's y'all fantasy. That just because y'all wasn't paying no attention until Caitlin Clark doesn't mean the world wasn't paying attention. So that's just simply not true. Because see, what they want to do is they want to dismiss the racial factor. They want to pretend this is all about drawing power. This is all about the fact that Caitlin Clark draws crowds, nothing to do with race at all. And you can't even make that argument. You can't make that argument. Well, Caitlin Clark should get more money because of how many people she draws. Those other women don't draw anybody. First of all, Kate, let's just make it clear. Caitlin Clark hasn't drawn one person to a WNBA game. She hasn't played one WNBA game. So all these folks online trying to come for me talking about, look at the stadiums that she fills up. Dude, ma'am, filling up stadiums for the NCAA tournament didn't put one dime in the pocket of the WNBA. Okay, you all realize that, right? Regardless of how many people may have bought a ticket to a college game to see Caitlin Clark, the WNBA did not profit off of that at all. She has not raised a dime for the WNBA. None. So it's no surprise that she got a contract that is commensurate with what other rookies are getting. My question is, why so upset now? You know, I was looking at Joanne Reed's page and, you know, talking about the number one pick, comparing her as the number one pick to the NBA number one pick. And I already went over why that's a bad comparison. But I also looked at the last several number one picks in the WNBA when they were of a darker hue. And none of the current media personalities that are highlighting this phenomenon said anything. None of them said anything. You know, Caitlin's getting a $76,535 contract for her first year. Of course, she's going to make millions in endorsements. That's going to offset that. She, as already with her 8-figure Nike deal. Okay, so she's not worried about that contract. She's making her money in other ways. But last year in 23, Aaliyah Boston was the number one draft pick. And her contract was $74,305. I didn't even see the black folk that are so upset about Caitlin say anything about Aaliyah's contract. Nothing, nada. Not a ting. Nothing. And before Aaliyah Boston, was drafted, the year before that, Ryan Howard was the number one pick. And she got a $72,141 contract. None of the folks that's mad about Caitlin's contract were upset that Ryan Howard was getting $4,000 less than that as a number one draft pick. Charlie Collier was the number one pick the year before that. Black woman. $70,040. You didn't see it all over every social media outlet. It wasn't popping up all over your timeline. What a shame that Charlie Collier is only getting $70,000. Y'all know y'all didn't see it. The year before that, Jackie Young, black woman, number one draft pick in the WNBA, $72,141 contract. It wasn't on the Shade Room. It wasn't on Baller Alert. It wasn't on Joanne Reed's page. It wasn't on none of y'all favorite social media, black news outlets. D.L. Hughley and them wasn't highlighting it. Nobody said a word when Jackie Young was getting $72,000. Let's just keep it a buck. Crickets. Nobody was upset. Nobody was outraged. Nobody was comparing her salary to the #1 NBA draft pick that year. The year before Jackie Young, Aja Wilson. She didn't even make $60,000. She had a $58,000 contract as the #1 draft pick. She's now the best player in the league. The highest paid player in the league with a little over $200,000 now when she signed a 2-year contract extension. But she started out at $58,045 as the #1 draft pick. Nobody compared her to the #1 NBA draft pick. Y'all didn't talk about her paltry contract all over social media. Nobody was upset about that. And I know, folk are going to accuse me of, oh, here you go again, Bishop, playing the race card. This isn't about race. Everything doesn't have to do with race. This is about the popularity. Nobody knew those people. Stop with the narrative that nobody knew these folks. These folks were high school stars who were widely recruited by colleges all over the nation, were superstars in the NCAA, and were drafted #1 in the WNBA. Stop saying nobody knew them. You didn't know them because you didn't start paying attention. And all you're doing is you're making my argument for me. Because basically what you're saying is, I didn't start paying attention until the white girl. You're making the argument for me that it wasn't important enough to pay attention to until we had a superstar white girl. Superstar black girl, no big deal. I didn't start paying attention. That just admit that, okay? Just say I didn't start paying attention until the white girl was playing. Don't try to brush it off on everybody else, talking about nobody knew none of the rest of these black women. Because that's just categorically not true. Okay? They had huge fan bases. These are women who won NCAA titles, who have won WNBA titles since they've been in the league. Stop trying to make your point that just because you didn't pay attention, that nobody in America knew who these women were. Just stop it. But in typical American fashion, what is viewed as an atrocity, an unfairness, a disgrace, when it happens to a white woman, was never looked upon with such disdain when it was consistently happening to black women. That's just a fact. Even among black people. Even among black people. Okay? Black people were clutching their pearls when they saw Caitlyn's contract, but were never moved when black women were getting the same type of contracts. Think about it. Let me play this. This thing here too trips me out. Gayle King was interviewing Coach Dawn Staley after they won the title. And Gail was saying, "Oh, we're so happy for you." And then she goes on to say, we were all rooting for Iowa and Caitlin Clark. She said this to Dawn Staley. And I knew Gail was kind of out of touch. When you see her and Oprah at Oprah's birthday party on a yacht, and the only black people that are at the party are Oprah and Gail, you know they're out of touch with the black community. You know they are. They're out of touch already. So I knew she was already out of touch, but I didn't think she was just crazy enough to say to the black coach of the predominantly black team that we were all rooting against you. But she said that. She really, let me play it. she really said that, y'all. Wild. I mean, yeah, the same woman who was dissing Kobe after he died. Listen to this.
You guys don't say I'm so happy. The game was such a good game. It was so close at times, and in the end, you guys pulled it out. But was there ever a point during the game when you were worried? Because I got worried. We were all cheering for Iowa, of course, and Caitlin Clark. But for so many people, you've got their hearts. Was there ever a point where you were worried during the game? I wasn't ever worried during the game. I know, when we went down 10-0.
Wait. Do I need to play that again? She said, we were all rooting, of course. She underscored it. Of course, for Iowa and Caitlin Clark. We were all of us were rooting, of course, not for y'all. Not for you black women playing for South Carolina. We was rooting for the Great White Hope in Iowa. That's what let me play it again. So listen to Gail King.
You guys don't say I'm so happy. The game was such a good game. It was so close at times, and in the end, you guys pulled it out. But was there ever a point during the game when you were worried? Because I got worried. We were all cheering for Iowa, of course, and Caitlin Clark. But for so many people, you've got their hearts. Was there ever a point where you were worried during the game?
We were all rooting, of course, for Iowa and Caitlin Clark. Yeah. And of course, it seems like some of them were, because they're all upset over Caitlin's contract. Even though I shared with you the contracts for the number one picks for the last 5 years before Caitlin. For the 5 years before Caitlin, $58,045, $72,141, $70,040, $72,141, $74,305. Contracts to Audra Wilson, Jackie Young, Charlie Collier, Ryan Howard, and Aaliyah Boston, all black women. And there was no outrage over any of that. Only when the white girl got a low contract did we get upset. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, she's a fake coach, and
she's a what?
I didn't actually believe what she said.
Wait. What did you say? Wait. Hey. Okay, I don't know what you just said. I thought you said something about a fake coach. Did he say she's a fake coach? Okay. I don't know. He hung up quick. He wasn't listening. And if he said she's a fake coach, you're a clown. Okay? I wish I had some clown music to play. Because that's what you are. If you just said Dawn Staley is a fake coach, then you are a clown. Is that what he said, y'all? Y'all put somebody confirm that my ears heard what I thought I heard dude say. If that's what I did hear dude say, please tell me that that's what I heard him say, because I can get the circus music going. Good morning. Good.
I didn't say she was fake. The stuff that she was reading out of her report there, it was probably fake, but she's not a fake coach there. I didn't mean that. So.
Okay, I just needed that clarification. I needed that.
Very Connecticut.
All right, appreciate it. Whew. All right, we was gonna get popping with the circus. Deacon Lovejoy said, yeah, that's what he said. That's what I thought I heard. But maybe that's not what he meant to say. Maybe that's not. I hear you, Angela. Maybe he's saying that's not what he meant to say. Okay, 413-736-2781. I see you, cousin Lisa. He didn't mean to say that, y'all. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Bishop. You gotta help me out.
All right.
On the radio on a few minutes ago. Was that Gail King talking to South Carolina's coach?
Yes.
You're lying.
No. She was talking to the coach and told the coach we were rooting, of course, for Iowa and Caitlin Clark.
That's like interviewing Patrick Mahomes after the Super Bowl and saying, we wanted Purdy in the 49ers. I'm glad you won, but we wanted Purdy in the 49ers. Gail King is out of touch. They have this corny show on CNN sometimes with her and Charles.
It just got canceled. It's done. It's over with.
Good. So, Barkley was saying how he was rooting for Don Campbell because he's a great guy, a good guy, and he's done a lot for the Lions. And Gail says, Charles, you have to tell all of America what you're talking about. That who is Don? He said it's the coach. Well, you should tell everybody it's Detroit's coach. We all know. We know sports, Gail. You're the only one I've touched, and I am so shocked that was South Carolina's coach. Wow.
Yeah, she said it.
You're a sellout. You're Uncle Tom. And I don't care for you since the Kobe thing.
Thank you, brother.
Okay, bye-bye.
413-736-2781. Yeah, matter of fact, come to think of it, we probably can keep the music popping just for Gail. Because she's a clown. This is for Gail King. Yeah, that's for Gail King. 413-736-2781. So it's this it's this craziness around this whole narrative that has engulfed. I understand it engulfing the white community because they're always looking for a great white hope. We endured it in the 80s, those of us that are basketball fans, during the Larry Bird era. Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, and living here in Massachusetts, of course, Boston Celtics phenomenon, all their storied franchise, all the championships they've won. And they were always trying to get a great white hope, whether it was Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, or Bill Walton, whoever it was. And it wasn't that they weren't talented players. It was the hype around them. People legitimately thought they were being overrated because of their whiteness. And that's a fact. Isaiah Thomas, said what others wouldn't dare say, that if Larry Bird was black, he'd just be another good player. That all of the hype around him, trying to make him the GOAT and all that wouldn't be the case if he was black. And Isaiah was right. Isaiah was right. They're calling Caitlin Clark the GOAT, the greatest of all time. How do you take someone who's played 4 years at the collegiate level and catapult them to the greatest of all time? How do you do that? She hasn't stepped foot on a professional court anywhere. She hasn't coached a team. She hasn't won a championship. None of that. And you're telling us she's the greatest that has ever played? The greatest to ever do it? The GOAT? Are y'all serious? Y'all serious? You would never say that about a black college player who didn't even win a championship. As far as I'm concerned, I put it out there. My pick, Cheryl Miller. There's nobody who's come along yet that's going to, you're going to convince me he was a greater player than Cheryl Miller. Now there are some who are making their cases, like an Aja Wilson. There are others who are out there who are making some serious accomplishments. And maybe by the time her career is over, Caitlin Clark may be the GOAT. She may wind up being the greatest player of all time. But that has not been proven at this point. Not even close. You can't even mention her name in the same sentence with Cheryl Miller or Cheryl Swoops or Lisa Leslie or Lynette Woodard or Shamik Holtzclaw or Diana Taurasi or Candace Parker. You can't even mention her name in the same sentence with these women. So just cut it out. The receipts don't add up. Okay? The receipts don't add up. When you take the receipts of all of those sisters and compare them to the accomplishments of Caitlin Clark, is she a prolific scorer? Yes. That doesn't make you the greatest of all time. Cheryl Miller has the championships, the MVPs, the Hall of Fame induction. You're going to make her the greatest of all time over women that are in the Hall of Fame. What are y'all smoking? Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
How you doing, Rev, today, man?
I'm good.
Good, yeah. Just Caitlin Clark stuff. I mean, come on. And if he's the GOAT, he's making $330 a year. Give me a break. But I must defend Larry Bird. Larry Bird, every day before he went to work, after work, he played with brothers. He learned his skills and techniques. And if you watch any of the tape, he always sets the other team. I hope you ain't got a white guy sticking me, because it ain't gonna work.
Wait. So let me say this. Bird was a great player. There's no doubt about that. And Bird has championships under his belt to go along with all of that. But was Bird the greatest of all time? No.
I mean, to me, Jordan was definitely, to me, but I go by stats, quarterbacks, football players, basketball players. But Larry Bird, at his time, if you interviewed anybody from any other team, they gave him all the accolades. And if you look at his record, his points, he was.
Like I said, Larry was a good player, but see, here's the other thing. Larry had to deal with the Magic Johnsons, the Julius Irvings, the Isaiah Thomases. Larry had to deal with many Hall of Fame players during his era. So was he a great player amongst a great era? Of course he was. Was he the greatest of all time? Not even close. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. You?
I'm doing marvelous. I would like to. I don't want to be on the air. I just wanted to ask you if you knew about the meeting that's coming up Monday.
We're on the air. I'm live on my radio program.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I just wanted to give you some information about Springfield College is trying to close Wilbraham Avenue from King Street to Hickory Street.
Okay, they're trying that again because they've tried that at least 3 times in the past and we've blocked it. When is this meeting?
This meeting is Monday at 100 Hickory Street at 6 o'clock.
100 Hickory Street at 6 o'clock. What facility is that meeting in? And who's facilitating this meeting?
Mr. Hill.
Okay, so he's facilitating the meeting on behalf of the college then.
Yes.
So he's facilitating a meeting amongst the residents to try to convince them to allow it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I will not be supporting that. I'm the only other business on that stretch of Alden Street. My church is there, and there are people who live in that area. And Springfield College has tried this, like I said, at least 3 times in the past to close off our public streets, to inconvenience taxpayers and residents here. And anybody listening to me in the 413, we will be mounting an opposition to this campaign again of them trying to close down Alden Street to keep it so that only their students can come along that section of Alden Street. Thank you for that information. I appreciate it.
Is there a number that I can call you?
413-650-6154. Yep.
Thank you. I'll call you when you get up here.
All right. Yeah, no, Springfield College, we're not letting you shut down Alden Street. We're not letting you shut down Alden. They want to shut down Alden between Roosevelt Avenue all the way down to Hickory and make it inconvenient. I travel that stretch every day to and from my office. Now you're telling me I have to find an alternate route to go to work. People have to find an alternate route to go to my church just because Springfield College wants to keep the black people off of their campus. Not going to happen. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Bishop.
Yes.
I can understand them trying to say Caitlin Clark is the greatest collegiate.
I don't even understand that because at the end of the day, let's look at and I'm gonna get into these Nike contracts. I think one of the persons deserves the Nike contract. That's of course Breonna Stewart. Look at Breonna Stewart. Breonna Stewart has 4 NCAA championships. Every year she was in college, UConn won a championship. Not only did UConn win the championship, she won the MVP award in all 4 of those tournaments. And then when she got out of college, she's won 2 WNBA championships and 2 WNBA MVPs. How in the world could Caitlin Clark even be the greatest collegiate player of all time when you have people like that?
That's the reason I'm saying that is because she has scored more points than any man or woman.
Doesn't matter. Scoring points.
Any man or woman in the collegiate level.
So scoring points is the say all and the be all of greatness. As a ball player, I know plenty of people who scored points. They didn't elevate their team. Their team didn't win anything. It- I- that can't be the barometer of being the greatest player of all time. You cannot dismiss people like Breonna Stewart with 4 rings, 4 MVPs, and say Caitlyn is better because she scored more points. No. Mm-mm. No. If you want to say she was the most prolific scorer of all time in women's basketball, say that. But don't say she's the greatest collegiate player of all time. Because there are more canons to measure the greatness of your play. You know, one of the reasons Michael Jordan is considered the GOAT is not just Jordan was a prolific scorer, he won championships, but Jordan elevated the play of everybody on his team. He made average players greater. They were able to build a team around him. They didn't do what they did nowadays, where you get 3 superstars who arrange to all play on the same team so that they can get a ring. That's not what they did in Jordan's era. They worked with the players that they had to elevate their play to make it a championship caliber team. No. Did she score more points? Okay. All right. So then are we going to say the greatest rebounder should be in that conversation? Or just the greatest scorer? The greatest assist leader? The greatest shot blocker? Should they be in that conversation because they have statistics that are above and beyond everyone else? Or is it just the person who scored the most points? It's like the argument that people had in the championship game when we were saying how Raven Johnson locked her up. She didn't lock her up. She scored 30 points. She scored 30 points on 28 shots. Listen, if I shoot 28 times, I'm going to score more than 30 points. She had 18 in the first quarter. She only had 12 for the rest of the game with Raven Johnson on her. Raven put the clamps on her. And if you think Raven put the clamps on her, what do you think is going to happen when she gets with tougher players in the WNBA? So like I said, she's not a proven commodity yet. She hasn't played one day at the professional level yet. She doesn't even belong in the GOAT conversation at this point in her career. Was she a great college player? Yeah. Who came up short in 2 championships. But she don't belong in the GOAT conversation. Let me get to this Nike conversation. So there are 3 women who have signature shoes with Nike in the WNBA. As I stated before, Breonna Stewart deserves it. No doubt about the fact that Breonna Stewart deserves it. She was a great college player at UConn. 4 championships, all 4 years she played at UConn. 4 MVPs in the tourney while she was at UConn. She's won 2 WNBA championships since she's been in the pros and was the MVP of the WNBA championship twice. So you get no opposition whatsoever around the fact that Breonna Stewart deserves that recognition. She deserves that contract. Caitlin Clark just signed an 8-figure deal with Nike. 0 NCAA championships. 0 WNBA games. And I get it. Nike's expecting her to be a drawing card and all of that. And they gave her a contract and they gave her a signature shoe. Sabrina Loneskew is the other person who has a Nike contract. She has 0 NCAA championships, 0 WNBA championships. Yet somehow, the best player in the league today, Aja Wilson, who has an NCAA championship, who has an NCAA tournament MVP, who has 2 WNBA championships, who has a WNBA Finals MVP, who was the league MVP twice in the WNBA, she can't get a Nike contract. 3 white women can. One that as I state, deserves it. 2 was questionable, at least accomplishment-wise. But the sister, who's the best player in the league, can't get a contract. What's up, Nike? What's the story there? I'm just wondering. Why she can't get no love? Good morning, caller.
I was looking on TikTok. There was a lady named Pearl Moore that was the greatest scorer.
Yeah, well, what they're saying is the Division One. They're saying Division One. You're right, because there's a black woman who played in Division Two, who is actually the greatest scorer of men and women in college basketball of all time. But because she played in Division Two, they're discounting her. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It is a black woman who is the greatest college scorer, the most prolific college scorer of all time. But because she played in Division Two, they're discounting her and giving that title to Caitlin Clark because she played Division One.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Coming up next is Don Felton with mid-morning jazz and great black music and more. And he's going to make it smooth. He's going to make it personal. So keep it locked right here on WTCC. If you're looking for a place to worship, check us out at the Spring of Hope Church of God in Christ, 35 Alden Street. Alden Street, that shall remain open, Springfield College. Yeah, Alden Street, that I come down Roosevelt to get to every day. And we expect that it will remain open, Springfield College. Y'all listen out for more on that, because we're going to have to do some organizing around that, because here we go again with the foolishness. Let me tell you the story about Springfield College, okay? Back in the day, I don't know if they still do it or not, but back in the day, when Springfield College would give out a pamphlet that would give directions to the college, to parents of potential new students, it would give them directions to go all the way from 91 to 291 to the Indian Orchard exit. Those of you who are here know what I'm talking about. Get off Indian Orchard, go down Pasco Road, and go down Pasco Road to Boston Road to Wilbraham Road, and Wilbraham Road to Alden Street, and come in the back way of Alden Street, rather than come straight downtown up State Street, which is a much quicker route to Springfield College. But if you came the quicker route, you'd have to go through the hood and see black people. So Springfield College has been trying to avoid black people for a long time. It's been trying to get the parents of students to not know that they're black people, even though it's in the hood. Now they want to close the college so black people can't get on their campus, and we ain't standing for it. I got to get out the way. Don Felton's up next. Mid-morning jazz, great black music. He's going to make it smooth and personal. Check us out at 35 Alden Street, 11 o'clock a.m. on Sunday. Prayer, praise, and preaching. We're building better tomorrows by changing lives today. Check me out on Monday on the Spoken Word. Until the next time I talk to you and you talk to me, always remember God loves you. So do I. Peace and blessings.